So this is the walkthrough for the Sinsuite plugin. It is very, very simple by design. The interface is designed so that you can literally just load it up and you have the sound of these albums. You don't have to fuss around with mic placements or CADs or really anything. You can literally just load it on and that's the sound of the albums. You can also go in and tweak some more of the features. There is a lot going on under the hood here, and it is really exciting. So the full chain has been modeled. Every single piece is there to make sure that it is authentic to the albums. So let's go through really quickly. You've got your input and output metering, good for visuals to make sure that you've got the correct level going in. We have an input trim here, which is great. So if you are using a really hot pickup or something like that, you can always reduce the input trim. You can always boost it as well. So if you've got a low output pickup, you can add a lot more gain here if you want to get more distortion. Speaking of distortion, there is a boost built in. So when you go to the 50%, you'll notice the boost is off. This is the J1000 with the Alexi settings on it. So if you don't have that booster in your guitar, you have it in the plugin. If you do have the booster, this is really interesting. So you can use the input trim to reduce the input if you're running really hot out of the booster, or alternatively, you can add some more gain if you're running quite low from the booster and still have that character there. So that's really handy to have this. Of course, if you don't have that booster built into your guitar, that is one of the secret weapons to this sound, and it's really hard to get it without it, but it is built in. It'll automatically engage once you pass 50% on the plugin. So that's really exciting. So this is similar to the Reaper suite in the way that we've organized the EQ and the controls. So with the presence and the resonance off, that is the album sound. And with these added, it's basically like adding top end or low end, but not exactly like EQ. It's a dynamic process. It is similar to the RSP processor that is being used in these recordings. Bit of a secret there. Not many people really know about that unit. It's very rare, but this is really cool. So you can add it in and you can compensate for your guitar. So if your guitar is really dark or it needs, a bit of low end because it's really sort of thin sounding, you can add it in here and it won't change the character of the amp. That's the whole reason why these are here. That's also one reason why you'll notice there isn't a mid-range control, because mid-range is the sound of the amp, and the way that we do our processing, it's unique. It's not like anyone else. We've got a bit of an unusual thing going on. A lot of people have actually asked if we're doing NAM captures and things, and we are not. While it is cool, that process doesn't really work for what we're trying to do because we want authenticity the whole way around. And that's something that's really hard to do when you're doing like a static capture. It sounds good in one position with one guitar, but the second you change that, it falls apart. Might be a hot take. I don't know. The name stuff's great. Don't want to knock it. It's fantastic. But we're going for something different here. We are obsessed with accuracy, and that's the whole point of all of our plugins, really. It's about getting tones that are not available to all of us because we don't have the hardware, we don't have the gear. So we're very lucky because we actually build this gear in the real world using real amps, and then it gives us a really good insight into how to model it correctly. Anyway, so that's the presence of resonance. I digress a little bit there. We've got the output to control the overall level, and you've got a really good gate, super aggressive. At 50%, it's a really good middle ground. You can run it lower or hotter depending on what you want. You can get really choppy without cutting the sustain. It's a fantastic gate, and you've got a little LED to indicate when it's gating, which is really good. We've got our bottom panel here, which is really cool. So we'll go through. So GUI size, nice and easy, just makes it smaller depending on what sort of screen and the resolution that you're on. We have our channel select, which is pretty self-explanatory. We have the color indicator here will hopefully give you a guide as to what the album is. You also have the names here. We have 3, and hopefully you guys will know which ones they are. So we've got our channel select there, nice and simple. We've got a really good chromatic tuner. That's something that we've taken the feedback on from the Reaper suite. A lot of people really wanted to have a tuner in there, which is great. And we've implemented into this plugin, and also for the update for our Reaper suite plugin, we'll be putting that into there as well. The tuner is fantastic. When it is engaged, it mutes because no one wants to hear anyone tune. It's really accurate. It works fantastically for drop tunings and standard tuning, really anything. Really good tracking. Super happy with that one. We also have this attack button, which is really unique. It's a combination of processing that's sort of a studio processor, but it gives you this really aggressive transient attack to the beginning of the notes. It might sound funny when it's in isolated or in solo, but when you put it in the context of a mix, and especially in a lead setting, it has that attack that all of Alexi's leads had. They're like super punchy, super aggressive sounding, and it's a lot of it is in the way that the sound is processed. It gives you a really cool attack sound. It just changes the character of the amp as well, so you kind of can play around with that. If you're in a mix and you're chord tracking, put those on 2 of the tracks and then do the other 2 tracks without, and it'll sound huge. It's awesome. So finally, we've got our solo button, which is, as the name suggests, it is a lead sound. It is something that is really unique to the way that Alexi did all of his guitar sounds. And it's basically, he didn't do much different between his rhythm sound and his lead sound. There's just a bit more compression. There's some slight chorusing, some stereo width stuff, some delay and bits and pieces there, but the character of the tone is the same. It's just, it feels different. And that's what this button does. You click it and it'll sit in the mix perfectly. It'll give you the feel of the same amp being pushed differently, and it gives you that character of the solo sound. And that is different for each one. And it's really cool. And that's it. The plugin is dead simple. It's designed so that you can just plug it in, play, you get these sounds, and it's a lot of fun to play.